Now, the first thing to talk about is my laptop, which I bring around with me pretty much all the time. And it is a Panasonic Let's Note SV2, I think, maybe. It is Japanese, based on the keyboard, as you might be able to see. And honestly, besides the fact it looks really cool, it might be one of the most dog shit laptops you could possibly buy. Like, you can get fine specs or whatever. I'm sure I'll put them up. You know, you get what you pay for, right? But in terms of the build quality, it kind of feels like a toy and is pretty much completely made out of plastic. My computer is running NixOS, which is a distribution of Linux, and of all the operating systems I've used, being macOS, Windows, Arch Linux, and then Nix, NixOS is by far my favorite philosophy to building a system for yourself. I am absolutely in love with the whole structure and process of it. Now, that being said, I know very little about how to actually use the language and have a very basic understanding of how to sort of navigate around my system. But despite that, I have set up quite a few restrictions which improve my quality of focus. Now, these mainly manifest as certain browser restrictions or like sites being blocked. So I don't sort of stray away from the things I'm supposed to be looking at when I'm studying. But in addition to that, there are certain other features like, well, extensions I've put into my browser, as well as certain functionality I have intentionally chosen not to have in my computer, mainly Bluetooth. The next item, which is also a beloved part of my workflow, is my Remarkable 2, which I bought used on Depop of all places, which is a used clothing app. And all I can really say about this device is that it does the one job it's supposed to extremely well. And I am very, very, very happy with this thing. The pencil I use, or pen or whatever, is a Staedtler digital pencil, and I put some little finger things on it, as well as scraped off the paint with a knife. In comparison to the only other pencil I've used for this thing, which is the stock Remarkable brand premium one with the eraser, the first set of nibs I got for this were horrible. I really, really hated them, and they were way worse than the Remarkable one. But the second set has actually been better than the stock Remarkable ones, and they last about 10 times as long as the Remarkable nibs. So I think I would probably recommend this pencil. This is like the Overwatch Golden Gun equivalent in the digital minimalist community, maybe. But this is the Lightphone 3, which has a little bit of a funny story behind me getting it. I basically lowballed someone, forgot about it, and then 3 weeks later they accepted my offer, and I have a Lightphone now. So besides that, I really, really, really love this phone. It is unnecessary. I think that's the first thing to state about the Lightphone. I can do everything in terms of limited functionality that the Lightphone can on my iPhone, and I did. But that being said, as an appreciator of aesthetics, particularly in terms of computers, I love this thing. It is built to do what I want it to, versus on my iPhone, I sort of, what's the term? Messed things up to make it limited in the way I wanted it to. And in addition to that, I have a case for it that also doubles as a chain wallet, which, as someone who has been wearing a chain wallet since about middle school, it makes me exceptionally happy that I was able to keep that as a part of my loadout. I think the best place to start for this last half of my everyday carry is my backpack, which is a Maxpedition Typhoon backpack. It's pretty cool. I don't know, I like the way it looks. I like the color black. It's very like military looking, but maybe just not enough so that people will still approach me, you know? It's modular, which is cool. So this little attachment here is for my camera, and it's very easy for me to just grab it and shoot something if I want to. I would generally say that the rest of what I'm going to show has specifically been chosen because it fits so well with this backpack. So moving on, I actually want to talk about the thing I am most excited to discuss, which is actually the water bottles. Maybe for just a tiny little bit of context, both me and my mom share a like obsession for the Zoji Rushi brand, which is a Japanese thermos company. For as long as I can remember, she has always brought tea with her with this same model of thermos that she refuses to compromise on. And just like her, I also have a discontinued Zoji Rushi thermos, which I am passionate about. It is the Zoji Rushi / Got Tough Boy. I didn't even need to look at the screen because it's imprinted in my mind. But I just really like the way it looks, to be honest. This one doesn't have it because it attaches to my backpack, but one of the things I really like about it is it has a strap. So if I'm walking around, I can just grab it with me. I mean, it just holds, it holds water, and it does it quite well, and it looks cool. The second water carrying device, if I want to carry not a massive amount of water, is this Zoji Rushi little doingly water bottle. And what is especially nice about them for my workflow is that they both fit really cool with my backpack. Yeah. Speaking of things that fit very cool with my backpack, I also want to talk about my lunchbox, which once again is an item I am way more passionate about than I should. It is a Omi bento box for it is very clearly branded for small children, but it has become a beloved part of my life. I'm a big cook kind of person, really into building nice lunches for myself, and this bento box has sort of enabled me to do that in a nice way. Another really cool thing about it is the outer pouch of my backpack. This lunchbox fits perfectly into, and the The only other thing to mention is that I use a little bag for it, so there isn't like goop that gets on the inside. And then finally, I have my little electronics bag, which I put all my stuff into. There's not a whole lot to say about this, besides the fact that if you're like me and you study in a lot of public places, it can be nice to just pack everything up into one sort of additional bag and bring it with you if you need to go to the bathroom or something. But that basically does it for the I want to end this video out by sort of reflecting on the year a little bit, and for me it's really been a good one. I started this channel in February, which is weird because I feel like it's been longer than that, and I don't mean that in like a I hate you guys kind of way. I think I've just spent a lot of hours at the desk, you know, but in terms of the biggest lesson I think I've learned in 2025, it's the importance of acknowledging how important it is to socialize. When I think of high school for myself, being a very disciplined person, someone who put a lot of time into things and sort of neglected the company of others, definitely sort of romanticizing the image of like a brooding studier person who was just getting stuff done and didn't have time for other people. Now, as I'm really beginning to integrate, you know, study groups, just like literally just going out and just meeting people, making friends, hanging out, sort of in the most wholesome way possible, using people as an opportunity for growth. Looking back on all the hours I spent alone in high school, trying to grow and not doing it with the feedback of others, that is definitely something I have a lot of regret about, and is something I will value more moving forward. But besides that, I mean, I want to not listen to music when I study, because all of the smartest people I know don't do that. And last thing I want to say maybe is just, you know, thanks for tuning in once again. I'll see you guys on stream, and I hope you had a good year. 2026.